And joining Governor Green is U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Secretary Xavier Becerra, who's on Maui. Today, Becerra met with local and state leaders to find out about the response efforts and how they can help. He was joined by the Assistant Secretary for Preparedness and Response, Don O'Connell. Becerra, O'Connell, Governor Green, and members of our congressional delegation just wrapped up a media availability at UH Maui College. And KITV4's Jeremy Lee continues our team coverage this afternoon, joining us live from Kahului. So what did you learn, Jeremy?
Well, behind me you see the FEMA Disaster Recovery Center. This is a spot here in Maui College where people can come and fill out the paperwork, ask questions. The Red Cross also stationed here. And this just wrapped. You saw the county level, the press conference that was going on. This was a little more informal, but it was the federal government represented by the Secretary of Health and Human Services, also the Governor, Josh Green, on hand, and Senator Hirono. They had just been to tour some of the hotels where evacuees, survivors have been staying. And I can say from my own experience, having visited a hotel myself in Kaanapali, that life goes on. You see young people playing Uno in the lobby, using the pool, finding ways to play wherever they can. But underneath that all is the very real issue of mental health and living through this traumatic experience. Governor Josh Green, you heard from a little bit earlier, cited a situation where a young man who had just got his driver's permit was put in a situation where he had to get in the car and get others to safety. So people have a lot that they need to work through, and the government is well aware of that. And the governor also speaking about outreach. How is it that we can get these services to the people that need them in different communities? Of course, within the evacuees and the hotels, that's one stop you can go to, but other people who are spread out in the towns to the north or here in central Maui, how do you approach them? How do you get people to get the help that they may need? And so that was the main topic of the roundtable discussion. Another point, very, very important to those that I spoke to in West Maui, parents want their children to be educated locally. And then that goes for those who are in the hotels as well. They want somebody, a school teacher, to be able to work out of the hotels. They don't want their kids bussed across, especially after everything that they have been through. Have a listen to what the Secretary of Health and Human Services had to say, Xavier Becerra, in hearing and acknowledging this issue.
They were saying, why can't we just stand up a school in these resorts where we're staying, where all these families are, got all these big facilities? Couldn't we just have the teachers who now are unemployed just do some teaching, at least temporarily here? And again, I don't know what it'll take. I mentioned it to the governor, but to me, if we're trying to help people with their mental health and the stress, you have your kids, you're staying in a hotel room, you're working in a hotel, but you got your kids because you lost your house as well. You got your kids going to school right by where you are. It seems to me that helps relieve some of those pressures. So that was one of the things that really captured my attention, is how can we help make sure we can lower the stress level, and if we can have families be closer together in this time that they really need to be around each other, this might be a good one.
And you heard the governor agreeing as well. Senator Hirono chimed in that she's been speaking directly with the Department of Education. So everybody on hand really hearing what the parents of West Maui had to say earlier this week. And you heard this issue come up at the county press conference as well. So when it comes to the children and the learning and the recovery that's ahead, everybody seems to be well aware the benefits of having kids close by to their parents and to their families. That's all for now. We're going to have a lot more on this issue, especially as a lot of school will start in session next week. KITV4 will be there in West Maui covering it. But for now, we're reporting live here at Maui College. Jeremy Lee, KITV4 Island News, back to you at the desk.